Hi, my name is Lizette Cadwallader, and today I just wanted to share a little bit about my experience with English language learners and students of culturally and linguistically diverse backgrounds. I actually have a lot of experience through my school psychology practice, and I often used to work in schools where they were considered Title I schools, so they had a lot of students that were receiving free and reduced lunch and didn't have a lot of resources. And at those schools, I often saw a lot of lack of parent participation, a lot of language barriers. And what I also often came across was kids that were considered English language learners who were then also diagnosed with a speech impairment or a learning disability. And as I'm reading in some of my courses, I'm starting to understand that that's kind of a common problem that we have right now with misdiagnosis and classification. And I must say that during that time, I did see a lot of that. And now looking back, I realize it a little bit more. That, and I know that that's why there's such a huge over representation of minorities and kids of diverse backgrounds that are in special education. I think we need to understand that kids that come with diverse values, traditions, beliefs, languages, social economics backgrounds, it's all going to impact the way that they learn. It's going to impact the fact that if you are struggling and having a hard time communicating, understanding, you're most likely going to express it in a negative way, either by not participating at all or simply by expressing it in a negative manner. And a lot of that's how we begin to see a lot of the behavior problems, I believe. And also because there is a language barrier at home, the discipline, I believe, is a little bit different, and there's not a lot of support at home, not because the parents aren't don't want to, but because it's very difficult for them. And I myself have experienced that, and luckily I had siblings that could help me. But I do understand how those barriers can impact your education and in turn cause some behavior problems. So some of the things that I'm actually learning about right now that I found interesting, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now, is that just using culture in your daily instruction is so important for students. Just overall, embracing their language, embracing their differences, embracing everything that makes them unique. And I think that we need to work a little bit on that. I know it's very hard as a teacher, and it's a lot easier said than done, especially when you have 35 other students who are relying on you. But I think it just takes a little bit more effort, and that way we can create a more substantial learning environment for the class as a whole that represents everybody. And it's something that I think we just need to work on, and that would be very efficient for students that are expressing behavior problems. I also learned about bilingual special education, and that's something I just learned about. I mean, I've obviously seen it, but that it's an actual, that you're actually learning in your native language until you develop English proficiently. And that is very important because a lot of kids don't have any outlet or any other way to learn, and it's just obtaining that education in any way possible. And it's also done within the classroom. It's a strategy that combines the students' home language and their and English in a cohesive program, which is, I think, at this point the most efficient way we can think of teaching kids. I think a lot of the research and programs and strategies that are out there are considered controversial because it's very hard to do, but it's something that we have to do because our system of education is just growing, and there's so many people that are coming into the system that we consider minorities or different or whatnot, but it's changing. And I think we need to make changes in the way we teach kids and prepare ourselves for all the many different types of children we're going to encounter with different backgrounds, with different behaviors, disabilities. And remember that we are going to often have kids